Corey said she's not going to clutch. Is clutch a word? I don't think it is.
No, it is.
Do you know?
It is.
It is?
Clutch?
Clutch.
Oh, for sure.
So my parents, my mom, my grandma, they made up words growing up.
Yeah.
And then I used them in conversations with other adults.
It's actually an Urban Dictionary word.
Oh, see, never a good sign. But clutch, if you, here's, I'm going to use it in a sentence.
Okay.
Stop clutching with your food. It means you don't want it. And everybody would know that clutch means you're touching something you shouldn't be because you're not hungry or you're done. But Corey's got some cookie cutters in front of her. I made them way too big.
Way too big.
And she has promised she would not clutch. So, what's going on right there?
You brought my attention to
You
the
just
book.
said no. So if you hear any pletchy sounds, I'd say she promised she wouldn't pledge. So, Corey, tell us what this podcast is, and then tell us that we won't have it next week.
Welcome. Oh, yeah, we're not having it next week. This is the Baking It Down podcast where we bring a new podcast topic to you every week except for next week because we'll be out of town.
Where will we be?
Cookie Con.
Cookie Con.
Cookie Con. We've never done a sister's trip before.
I want to explain.
Never
There's an
done.
older one of us and a younger one of us. So it's a total of 4 of us.
If we've
In
never,
the history of the planet, of the earth, and all that lies within, there's never been the 4 sisters, no parentals,
No.
on a trip together.
we talked about it on Saturday, and my little sister's like, what if this is the worst?
It could be. We just don't know.
We don't know.
We don't. No,
But
but I have
12 hours
said
in the
I'm
car?
having a happy heart.
12 hours in the car?
I have also said I'm just playing. Hey, you guys need me to get the car? You need me to park the car? I'll do that. Whatever you guys want to make this trip is, that I'm just along for the ride.
I think I'm along for the ride. I think the 2 contentious people, when it's not me and you, is our older and younger sister.
Corey and I have our own little facts, but they're kind of subtle and more covert. They're more eye glances.
Yeah, I'm going to be interested in seeing how that dynamic duo works together this 12-hour
Okay, if they careen off the ledge, are you and I trying to walk them back, or are we just watching?
Are they sitting? Is this
I don't know.
literal or
It could be either. If they get in a little sister spat,
I'm
are
gonna
we
have to
playing referee or are we
do
playing?
my Enneagram number
innocent?
9 and be the peacemaker,
peacemaker.
bring them together.
We should do a podcast on the Enneagram so people know that
yeah,
we believe in the
should
stars.
do- That's such a good idea.
Okay, we'll add it.
Add it to the list. This is the Baking It Down podcast with Sugar Cookie Marketing. We are a group on Facebook. Almost 42,000 bakers strong. And each week, except for next, we bring you a little podcast, marketing know-how, and nuggy. To help your business go.
So this week we're going to talk about narcissistic conversationalists.
That sounds like, is this a relationship podcast? No.
Corey's divorced and I'm single, so follow us for more relationship advice. We'll tell you what not to do. No, this was actually an interesting topic Corey found from a TikTok. Of course, we didn't come up with this, but we see it all the time.
See it all the time. A lot of times when you're starting a business, you'll get invited to either Chamber of Commerce
That would also be a
meetings.
great topic because I know you lived in
I lived
those
that life.
networking events.
I did.
And it's the great question is the ROI there, but the structure of those, just understanding how they're structured and the kind of hostage situation of leads that goes on there,
They call it speed dating of business.
whatever hell you want to call it, it's fine by me.
But you're going to be invited to networking events. If you're trying to get those corporate orders, now for the holiday season, you're going to have the opportunity to meet with people, talk to people that you wouldn't have normally talked to. But a lot of times people can fall into this conversational
Narcissism.
Yes.
And again, Corey and I, not psychiatrists, not psychologists, just TikTok users and abusers. However, I will say that we have seen this kind of a lot just in the jobs we've had in the past, but also in the groups and stuff. So when it comes to selling, and I know Corey was a sleazy car salesman at one point, the more information you have on the person you're trying to sell to, the more likely you are to make that sale. That would say that getting information from your potential buyer is the main goal up until the sale's made.
You're right. And I know in the last week we
What
talked
car would
about
you sell to me? What do I look like? I would buy.
Buick.
Oh, really?
Rendezvous.
All the Buick Rendezvous owners yelling at their speaker right now.
We were talking about in the group open-ended conversations and how well they are for selling.
How well they are. Good.
How well and
How
good,
gosh darn great they are for
amazing
sale.
They are for sales and selling.
That's a
Open-
great, because it
allows a conversation to not be ended.
right, and they're open-ended. Not ended. You see what we did
Not
there.
close-ended.
But what Corey's trying to say is when you ask a question that can't be answered with a yes or no, you have forced the other person in the conversation to reveal even more.
So here, if we're doing it, sleazy car
Do you want a
salesman,
red car?
No.
What kind of car do you want?
I was thinking a 4-door sedan.
Right. So in the yes or no situation, that is very closed-ended, and it doesn't give us much more to go off of, and it doesn't allow the prospective buyer to reveal their hopes, wants, and needs. Once we understand what the hope, want, and need is, you can
really sell them.
You can sell me a Buick Rendezvous all you want.
Yeah.
You seem like you need a car. As a matter of fact, I do.
But the problem with conversations, whether they're open-ended, they're flowing, they're moving and grooving, is it can a lot of times be one-sided. And you're like, oh, one-sided is great. Yeah, but a lot of times the person that, wants the sale feels like they have to justify the value, justify the conversation, and they end up talking themselves out of a sale.
Mostly by hogging the conversation. Now, as human beings that walk the earth and want love and attention and affection, a lot of times we don't get heard, seen, or understood.
We don't.
As often as we'd like to, right? So when we enter a conversation with somebody who seems interested in the product we're selling, we're almost like, wow, I got the microphone. This person has to listen to me. And it feels wonderful. But as a business owner, it is not where we want to be tripping up, right?
Yeah. A lot of times I feel like my husband and son talk at me instead of talk to me. Like they could care less. So I end up doing,
Right. Once I told an ex, stop using me as a notepad, a verbal notepad. I am not here to just be listening.
But if you're talking with a nice person, odds are you never like, well, they didn't seem like they weren't happy with me, but they won't return my phone calls. It's because people are inherently kind.
And you were probably accidentally a conversational narcissist, which sounds so bad. But let me walk it back to you. Now, the guy who came up with this was a sociologist named Charles Deber. And this is what he says. There's two types of responses: a shift response, which is when you shift the attention back to yourself, or a support response, which is when you support the person talking.
So let's try a test for the first one.
Okay, this would be a shift response.
Heather, July was so insanely slow for me for sales.
Yeah, same for me. And here's what I'm thinking is why it was so bad for me. Do you see that Corey was talking about herself? And in my shift response, I shifted the attention back to myself. Now, I know a lot of people say, but no, I was commiserating. I was letting them know I have experienced the same thing and I was trying to connect with them. That is a noble response to being a narcissist. A conversational narcissist.
Yeah.
What Corey wanted was to be heard. What is it?
Heard.
Listened to and understood. Something like that.
You've been seen. You've been heard. You've been
understood. This is what one of my ex-boyfriends said when I said I don't want to be with you anymore. Thank you. And you won't be seeing me anymore.
So you might be like, okay, well, that's not me. Here's another way that you could actually, and I see this often in groups, and you're like, well, I'm not really talking to him. It's just a comment. That person's reading the comment like you're talking to him. So you'll be like, my July's so slow. I don't know what to do. What can I do in my marketing? And the comment will be like, my July was great.
Oof, and that was even worse. That wasn't conversational narcissist. That was conversational drive-by. You suck. I know. What do you want from me? So here would be the example of a support response. So go ahead.
Heather, my July was so slow with orders. I don't know what I'm doing wrong.
That was interesting. Do you think that there's anything that you did differently in your busy time that you may not have tried in the slower time?
I did take a vacation, and I was like, I'm not getting on social media for 2 weeks, so I didn't post during that time.
That's interesting. Have you ever tried the scheduling thing? I know we talked about it.
I didn't even know who makes the scheduling
Facebook
thing?
Planner actually has one built in for free. And I think it might be a great way for you to stay in touch with your audience without having to be too involved.
Oh, that's a great idea. I'm gonna try that and see if I can't change August for the best.
What do you plan to do in August?
Oh, well, you know what? I am doing this back to school thing. And, Hocus Pocus was great last year. So I think I might start doing that for this one.
Thoughts for you. There is the Cookie College. It's an interesting concept to kind of take some of the workload off of you. So, okay,
whatever. Take my money. I want to sign
up at cookiecollege.com. Here's the thing. Corey revealed more of her weaknesses. And not that I was trying to sell her at Cookie College, but it allowed me to gather enough information to see that she would actually be a prospective buyer for my product.
Also, if you're like, well, I'm not selling a class or a course, Heather listening to me as just another person.
Trust.
I'm already looking at you like, I really like Heather.
She already did before the conversation.
I didn't like
she
Heather before the conversation.
But hey, we all have what we want.
But what she's doing is Heather barely said 4 words. She's really just asking me questions about myself, but she's building a rapport with me that, I know Heather sells cookies. So if she can talk to me as a business owner and listen to my woes, my trials, and just be the listening ear that no one has enough people listening to them. We're always on our phones.
We all want to be listened to. Nobody's
listening.
So when you taste of somebody listening, we almost get to like, oh my goodness, I got the mic. Let me just talk at this person. But as a business owner, I would encourage you to say, my goal is sales. This person's goal is to be listened to. How can I marry both of those? And I think a lot of times we will be doing a lot less talking. But then you say, but Heather, you encourage them with the value proposition, sell them on the value. Sell them on the value that they want.
Yes.
Don't sell them on what you think they should know. I know I've talked about this in the podcast past. We had a lady sign up for the day job marketing services. And I said, what are your marketing goals? I didn't tell her what we were good at. I asked her what her goal was in hiring us. And she said, I never changed my last name from my divorce. I want my ex-husband to be annoyed by seeing his last name absolutely everywhere. She's a real estate agent.
I was like, are you doing your marketing or your therapy?
Whatever you need to pay for. Unlicensed, but willing to try. So when we allowed her to talk, we could see that she revealed what she wanted was an extreme reach. She didn't want conversions. She wanted her name to be absolutely everywhere. So in marketing, that's called impressions. And that was what we sold her. Okay, well, if we want to focus on impressions, here's that strategy.
But what we could have done and might have lost the sale.
Corey could have been like, I'm a divorce and it's been crazy. And then we'd been like,
we could have been like, you know what we can do? We can make you this many sales, hyper local audience. But
let's try designing a catalog. Let's do email. That's not what she wanted. But had we tried to sell her on the value without knowing what she needed in terms of
she
value,
wouldn't find it valuable.
Yeah. She would have found us to be conversational narcissists because that would, hey, here's all we can do. And she's like, I don't want any of that. I want to annoy my ex-husband.
And I've had a few sales. I
know CarMax made you guys do skits, test runs on scripts.
We called them role play. We did them every morning in the morning meeting.
Did you guys, I know there was an interesting story where you needed to get them to reveal a little bit of what they wanted because the fact that they were already there meant they were willing to buy a car.
Yeah. The thing is, people aren't coming to you to be your bestie. They're coming to you for what you bake. Mm-hmm. So when they came into the car dealership, they weren't looking to have a chit chat with me. They wanted to buy a car. So it was my job to ask the open-ended questions to make them feel comfortable, to build rapport.
What happens when they wanted a car that wasn't on the lot?
It was my goal to switch into something that was on
the lot. And how were you were doing that because you found out, well, do you have kids?
Yeah.
Oh, so you want space, you want third row seating, you want reliability.
And I know you really wanted the Buick Rendezvous, but what do you think about this
Buick out of your mouth?
I can't. Buick Rendezvous. I don't even know what it looks like. It's just in my mind.
Imagine a guy golfing and that's what he walks out to.
I think his rendezvous is a very hard word to spell.
Rendezvous.
Yeah. Can't ever spell that one.
But what Corey did is asked open-ended questions and then allowed them to reveal almost too much. The cards they were holding, hey, my old car is unreliable. Great. So they need reliability. Hey, I have a kid on the way. Okay, so you need a back seat. Oh, I commute. So you need a cheaper car that goes longer.
And so the thing is, if you were like, yeah, no, we have a little kid on the way. I'm like, oh my goodness, my son's 14. He's getting ready to go into 8th grade. They don't care about my kid who's 14 going into 8th grade. They care about their kid that's on the way. So what I need to be like, oh, we actually have this amazing car. A bunch of families that are coming, that have new kids coming will buy this. It's got the third row seat. You can put it down, easy to install, the little carrier thing.
Now, if Corey only entered in a car sales opportunity with the margin, the value of the car in mind, she'd be selling a Ferrari to a Civic owner. And you're just not talking the same language. But you may think, but if she sells a Ferrari, she'll get so much more money. Yeah, but they were never going to buy the Ferrari.
So you were already going to lose the sale.
Absolutely. And not only did you not make money on the sale, you actually lost money on time.
What I see a lot, me and Heather have done lots and lots of in-person marketing events.
Regrettably so.
That'll
put hair on your chest.
It's so interesting to watch, though. But if you're not like me and Heather, and you haven't gone to a million of them, and this is your first or second time going to a networking event, you can fall in the trap of someone's like, "Oh, what do you do?" It's a natural question that people ask when you're at a marketing event. A little get together. What do you do? It's like they ask, "What's your name? What do you do?"
And how is traffic on the way here?
Yeah.
What is your social security number? Starting with the first one.
So what you can do is when someone asks that question is you can monopolize the conversation and you don't really actually make any of the connections because you are the only one talking. So what you always want to do, if I'm like, oh yeah, hey, I'm Corey, I actually bake cookies for corporate orders. What are you here for? Doing? And then they can, I got my point across. Mm-hmm. Like you could be my client, but let me learn a little bit more about you.
Here's the thing. If they're a good conversationalist, they're going to shift it back to you. But I would try even then shifting it back to them.
Me and Heather call it lobbing the conversation.
And breadcrumbing. You can kind of see when, here's an example of when I see what people are interested in. So it'll be like, oh, I have a pet, right? And I'm like, oh yeah, actually I have 2 snakes. Okay, that's a weird thing to have, right? Or if they ask a question about the snakes, then they're interested in shifting the conversation back. But if they're like, oh yeah, anyways, this is about the cat, then I'm like, okay, that is shifting back to them. Here's where we're going to sit this conversation. Mm-hmm. Now, that is just a conversation where there is no end goal. When the end goal is sales, we have got to focus on keeping that person talking. And it feels so weird to sell without talking, but that is what's going to make them like you.
It works. So if you think like about a game of volleyball, mm-hmm. and like
Corey and I rode the pine pony.
We did.
Professionally.
We did. We were horrendous. And then one time at one
I would say we were just short.
In our senior year, we were bad. In our senior year. Like they were, like when the score's so high, like there's no way you could
Then they put
lose.
In B team, C team.
They put in us, but it was, our dad started a chant. And then everyone started chanting.
Put the miracles in. I was like, oh my goodness.
It was horrendous.
I was so convinced we wouldn't have to play that I did my hair nice and didn't put it in a ponytail because I want to crease it. And then the coach was like, why'd your hair down?
Coach was like,
I'm trying to go to Logan's Roadhouse.
I'm going to put you in. And Heather's like, I'm not going to put my hair up.
Fight a battle. It's not this one.
But if you know in volleyball, we're always hitting the ball. You can't
allegedly that's what they do. I don't know what
from what I've seen on the sidelines. But that's what you want to kind of do in conversations, especially if you're trying to make the sale. You never want the ball to sit too long with you. You want to send it back over so it's back with them. If they're good at conversations, it'll go back and forth. You'll learn equal about. Odds are they're not great at the conversation. They'll love to talk your ear out.
Let's volleyball a conversation. You're the office admin and I'm trying to sell you on a team building cookie class.
Okay.
So knock, knock, knock.
Hey, can I help you today?
Yeah, I'm actually a baker, and I know this sounds peculiar, but I'm just dropping off some cookies. I know it sounds like it's too good to be true, but I just wanted to leave something with you.
Oh, are they for free, or do I need to buy them?
No, these are absolutely free. However, I'd be remiss to say it's not a sales pitch, not a hostage situation, just a pitch. We do actually teach this exact cookie in a cookie class. It's been a great team building activity. Is that something you guys do around Christmas time? Or are you guys like, I'm out, I do not want to be at work?
We have never done like it. We've never done it with our clients, but we were thinking of how to do like camaraderie with our employees, instead of doing the whole potluck dinner because everyone hates that.
Do you think that they'd be down? Even the men have a great time. Do you think they'd be down to learn how to decorate? Maybe like an hour, 30 minutes?
I would have to ask. It's never come up that I would be like,
you know what would be so fun? What if I dropped off a DIY kit? Again, absolutely free, not a hostage situation. And you and maybe the boss sit down and try it out.
I'll let him know. I can give him your information and we can see.
Absolutely. I'd be happy to. I'll drop it off sometime next week. What's your name?
Corey.
Okay, great. You didn't really let me have a lot there, Chan.
You were talking so much.
I'm trying to lob it back. You're like, you cannot ever talk to the boss. I will stop you.
Let's try it again. That was very close-ended questions. Do you think they'd like it? I don't know.
Okay, you be.
Oh, it's so hard.
The baker.
Okay, I'll be the baker.
Okay, I'll be the office admin with your temperament. What? Do you have an appointment?
Knock. Hey, are you the office admin?
Yeah. How can I help you?
I just wanted to say, do you like sweet treats? Do you like a bribe?
I'm on a diet, but I try every once in a while to stay on it. But right now, yeah, I'll take a cookie.
Hey, I love diets too. Can I ask you a question? How long have you worked here?
I actually started about 10 months ago.
10 months ago? Where'd you come from before that?
I actually worked across the street. I just saw that they were hiring somebody, and I thought about it.
What place across the street? Because I think I've been there.
XYZ LLC.
Yeah, you look so familiar.
I'm so sorry.
Have you ever been to this networking group before?
Yeah, I did once when I first started.
I think that's maybe where I saw.
I'm so sorry. I don't remember you. Are we going on a
Listen, we're getting ready to.
Have you even?
You're even trying to be good. I don't remember you. You're forgetting role play. You look a hell of a lot like me. We have the same mom. We related. I think we were born at the same time. I think we spent years together. Is your last name Miracle? Oh my God, yes. Can I eat your cookies? I'd love to, sister.
Anyways, that was your.
Yeah, you were going in with the knowledge. You were
was being you. But the goal here is to constantly shift the conversation back to the person that you want to sell to and not absorb the conversation as your own. What you're going to do if you shift the responses back to you, you're going to walk out and say, that was great, Heather. You did a great job. And the person that you just did a drive-by with
was miserable. I never want to get caught in a conversation with those people again.
Try this, not our skit, but go home with somebody that you like and care about. See how many times they direct the conversations to you and you're able to subtly direct the conversation back to them. Almost act like it's a game of hot potato, and if you answer the question too long, pass it back.
I will say that when Nate gets off work, I'm really good and making it sound like I care about what he's saying.
Yeah, but he word vomits too endlessly because it feels absolutely amazing. You'll tell somebody your social security number if they're willing to listen.
And if your reaction to him is like,
I want everyone to know, Corey and I have a social security. It was one off. I could steal your identity in a heartbeat. But would I want to?
You could what?
Steal your identity in a heartbeat. We are the same person. I pulled my LexisNexis report.
Half
of
it's
always meshed.
Yeah, it confuses me.
I never lived here.
I didn't get that ticket. That was you. A lot of times, your expression on your face can make the conversation go in a good direction or a bad direction.
I saw another TikTok. Yeah, TikTok University.
My Botox is like, sorry, no expressions for you.
I'm not interested, nor am I upset. But I saw this TikTok, and the girl said, I met this woman at, like, they had gone on, like, a girl trip. She's like, I didn't know her, but everyone was so drawn to her. And I just stared at her and tried to figure out what it was that she did. And she said, I noticed 3 things. I think you can all remember, too. She said she constantly repeated the person's name. Like, oh, Corey, that's so interesting.
Oh, interesting.
Then she said she would always ask them more questions. Oh, why do you think that happened? She had the third one was a physical thing. She would lean in almost like because she couldn't really hear you, but was really intent on hearing you.
Hook, line, and sinker.
I would be like, what do you need? Here is my credit card number and the last 4 digits in the back.
Will you marry me?
So that, and what we want is it's a 2-part thing. You can ask all the open-ended questions and shift responses back to the person. Or support responses. Mm-hmm. We didn't talk about the support responses.
Oh, let's do it. We should. They're after that horrendous skit we did.
Let me just read what the guy who came up with the concept. So this is an example of a shift response, not a good one. The one where you take the attention.
Shift.
Oh yeah, somebody said that.
Definitely sounded different.
However you wanted to hear that. This is
okay, all right.
It's a shift response. John, I'm feeling really starved. Mary, I just ate. So what Mary did, John was saying, I have a problem. Mary said, well, I don't.
Yeah.
That would be the Facebook
And that's
group.
where I see, like, in the groups, like,
my July was great. Dry July? Never heard of her. Now, this is an example of a support response. So John says, I'm feeling starved. And Mary said, well, when was the last time you ate? What we've done now, John is going to reveal to us more information. And Mary has supported and listened to him. Now, imagine she marries that with leaning in, using his name, and acting interested. John, here's another example. God, I'm feeling so angry at Bob. I don't know who came up with these names. Bob, Mary, John. Mary says, yeah, I've been feeling the same way about him too. Now that felt like she was supporting him, but she said, I feel. She took John's information and made it about herself. Now here's the example of a support response. John, God, I'm feeling so angry at Bob. Mary, why? What's been going on between the two of you? See how much more John has to reveal in the second instance. In the first one, Mary gets to reveal stuff John never asked about.
Right. And then you feel like it's almost those one-uppers. That was Heather. Okay.
Well, cheers. Cheers. Podcast. Cheers to my Diet Coke.
Halfway through. The one-upper conversations, like you say something, someone's always going to one-up you. And you just want to be heard. You want someone to be like, hey, did you go on vacation? Yeah, I went to Jamaica. I went to Jamaica too. It was amazing when we went. But you want someone to be like, tell me how it went.
Right. So if you read on, Derber says you can't just use one or the other without making the person feel weird. But you can have an affinity toward shift or support responses, but sprinkle in some shift responses to commiserate with somebody. So it'd be like, I'm really feeling angry at Bob. Why? What's going on between you two? Well, he did this the other day. I caught him in a lie. You know what? He's lied to me too. Okay. Shift response. Yeah. But let's back into support response. What are you thinking about doing about it? So in no instance are you supposed to be one or the other. You're supposed to be both, but you're supposed to be more of support responses than you are of shift responses. So back to the sales pitch that Corey and I absolutely obliterated.
Sorry about that.
We would have a lot of support responses. And then towards the sales pitch, we'd go to the shift responses. Well, it's interesting. I actually worked with the office down the street. So I've taken the support responses. I got enough from the front desk person as I needed, and I'm going to shift it back into that sales pitch. If you read her face and she kind of withdraws from that, you're going to shift back to the support responses. Yeah. But what you need is information to make a sale, and what you don't need is to be listened to. It is not your job. The goal of this is to make a sale. You don't need a therapy session as well.
Yeah. I always like to think like no one's going to be as passionate about your business as you are. Mm-hmm. They're passionate about their business, but you are so excited about your business, which is great. We want you to be excited, but no one's going to share that same excitement. So you talking endlessly about your business, while it feels like I'm adding value, I'm telling them how much I love what I do. They love what they do. So how can your business support their business? And how can what you do help them with their sales, with what they do, with their end goals and things like that? Mm-hmm. Because if you can tie what you do into what they want to do, you're going to make the sale.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So when you see it, it's a little different of a platform when you're doing it in text, definitely in a Facebook group, right? So a conversation is pretty quick, can kind of ebb and flow. But in a thread, we have an OP, the original poster, and then we have a bunch of commenters. So when someone's like, I have really low sales in July. Well, I didn't. Okay. Well, there's now OP's.
Now I feel bad.
Right. So what OP is going to want, and what we can see the intention of OP is, I had a really bad July, and what she wants or he wants is somebody in the comments to be like, here's things that I did that were able to help. Now that is a shift response, but it is answering the question that OP wanted. A shift response where OP didn't want it is to know that you actually did in fact not have a dry July.
An amazing July.
Yeah. So it's interesting to keep that going. Once you start attuning yourself to what those conversations sound like, it'll break the third wall, unfortunately, and you'll be like, wow, this person is doing a bunch of shift responses back to themselves.
Yeah.
But then you'll know what it is. You'll not be able to fight a shift if two shift response people are in a conversation.
I'm like, and then what did you do next? And they're like, and then what did you do next? I said,
you're a support response person. I know that when Summer asks me questions and I don't want to answer them, I'll just turn them back around. But now she started catching it.
She did.
Did you not answer what I just asked? Well, is that what you wanted to ask?
I know if I'm not, if I'm being just talked at, I will repeat the last thing my brain heard.
That is called auditory echo, and it means you actually weren't listening.
I wasn't listening.
Oh. Yeah. No offense, but I was on the phone with a guy I dated, and he just kept talking. And I thought it was so disrespectful, but I would not listen. But I would say, oh, yeah, that's crazy.
That's crazy.
Yeah. And they'd be like, what do you think about it? And I was like, you know what? What do you think about it?
Because you did.
Yeah, that's crazy.
You love that. He's like, oh, wow.
Yeah. I thought, wow. Yeah, just crazy.
My husband will be like, yeah. And then Craddock said this. And I'll be like, my brain only heard the word Craddock. And I'm like, oh, Craddock.
That's not. Well, I said this. Corey loves to be on her phone. I think you've been trying to be better at it when we're at Mom's house.
Am I?
I have no clue. But you'll say you'll catch the last word of interest, and then you'll ask a question that has already been answered. Mm-hmm. And the look of Summer and Ashley's face is just, they're like, how dare you?
I like to be doing two things at once.
That you're not listening, and nobody likes that.
Yeah, but doing the little writing on the piece of paper. Family working together.
So that's the takeaway, is start paying attention both in how you write emails and how you converse with people in person at those Business Networking International events. Mm-hmm. What an intense name for such a small thing.
We call them beaners.
Beaners. At the beaner, which just sounds so rude.
I know.
I'm going to a beaner. At the beaners. Oh, baby, love me. at the Beaners, you have to get up and present 30 seconds, just an intro piece. And everyone's so pressed about what they'll say. It is kind of
it's
anxiety.
An elevator speech is what they call it.
But nobody is listening to you because they're too worried about what they're about to say.
Absolutely.
You could cut out that whole chunk right there and nobody would notice. It would just be less sweaty.
Yeah.
So even in those instances, if you could do your BNI 30, what do they call that thing when you do the elevator pitch?
Speech.
Oh, if you can do that and make it about other people in the room and not about yourself, you will have begun the journey of switching to a support response from a shift response.
Yeah. What if you're like, hi, I'm Corey, I'm a baker. I can bake corporate things. I can bake not corporate things. I can do this. I need 2 weeks notice. What if you're like, who hates your clients? Who in here hates your clients? Let's sweeten the bad boys up. Got some cookies for you.
And that again, she took it a shift from directly to her to back to the other people in a support response.
Because everyone in that room is thinking of client.
Absolutely. Everybody is. Never met a business owner who didn't.
I will say definitely test it if you have like a sister like Heather. Do that lobbing back and forth and see if the conversation doesn't go better than normal. Mm-hmm. Like, are they more engaged? Is your demeanor more engaged in them? Is your facial expressions, matching what they're saying?
Can I use your ex-husband as an example?
Sure.
I had to go pick up Corey's kid in Backbones of Pennsylvania somewhere at a McDonald's. And Corey's ex-husband, bless his little soul, he's kind of a hostile guy. And I said, hey, hello, I am outside parked next to what I knew was his car because you had mentioned it. And he said, we'll be out there shortly. Very closed.
Not warm.
Right. So I thought to myself, well, clearly I can just wait to this child hostage exchange.
Heather goes and has breakfast with my ex-husband.
And I wanted to test how much I could get a closed man to open up. And the only way to do it, he never asked me a single question back. But the only way to do it was to ask open-ended questions. So every little bit of information he gave me, I would probe. Oh, and then what do you think about it? And I got to say, he did a great job of closing down. Shutting down.
The man loves to be asked questions.
Yeah, but when you start asking him questions, you could see that even despite the fact that he didn't want to, he could not help himself. He wanted to be listened to. So by the end, I had he never asked me a question. So, but by the end of it, I'd known more about this guy. I haven't spoken to Rick in 3 years, and before that was 8 or 9 years. By the end of that, I knew more about this man. He knew nothing about me, but he said, "Oh, have a safe drive." We went from never talk to me to have a safe drive, and if that doesn't go to show y'all that those support responses and not the shift responses do open people up to give you enough information to sell or connect, whatever it is. Obviously, this is a business podcast, so sell. Mm-hmm. I don't know what does. Mm-hmm. It worked on Rick. It won't work on anybody.
And I will say a lot of these conversations with clients do start off electronically, just from the day and age that we're at. If you see that they're typing to you 2 sentences and then you're typing in a little pamphlet of information, that's too much.
I find that a personal attack right now.
Too much.
Yeah, that matching energy, if they're writing really short things, you haven't asked it an open-ended question, you may say, but I tried. Check to see if you asked a yes or no question.
Yeah, because yes or no is not open-ended. We want to say hey, are you looking for cookies? That is kind of closed-ended if my name is Mixable Cookie Co. They're not looking for Mixable. Oh yeah, I do sell cookies. Can I ask what theme that you were thinking about for this party? And how many are you just thinking 1 dozen?
Again, open-ended, because they could say 1 dozen, but she's like, I'm asking about the theme. So they kind of have to provide more information. Through that, you're going to be able to see what the weak point is and their strong point. If they're worried about customer communication because they had another baker, can you find out if they've done this before? You're going to see if
budget's an issue by asking those open-ended questions versus, not asking it. You go through this back and forth, you 50 emails, finally they're like, all right, your dozen's $70. Like, oh my God, no.
Yeah, so kind of just paying attention to how much you're speaking versus how much you're listening to, and how many times you can do those support responses versus those shift responses. I'll be honest, many people are doing shift responses.
Yes.
And once you're cognizant of what that sounds and looks like, you're going to be able to catch yourself doing it too.
Yeah.
It feels great to be listened to. And in an ideal friendship, we'd have somebody who introduces some shift responses with a majority of support responses. In a business, I would say let's lean very heavily on support responses, get that information from the client, give them what they want. And at that point, towards the end of the sale, if you know you're about to cinch it, do hey, I've actually worked with somebody just like this and they were really happy with this. Again, a shift response, but we're still providing the client the information they need to feel comfortable making that purchase.
I think it's a great homework assignment.
Okay.
To the people that you talk to this week in your daily life, if you're going to the grocery store, instead of, the Target cashier being like, did you find everything okay? I sure did. I hope you're having a good day, are ya?
Oh, darn, you switched it back. And they're going to say, well, yeah, I had a pretty okay. What I find when you ask retail employees, like, how's your day? Oh, it's been okay.
Yeah, I feel like they're like programmed to shut her down. Get this
them out.
out of line.
So yeah, just pay attention and see if you can find examples of shift responses, even in people talking to you, and then in support responses. You're going to find that the more support responses you do, you're going to have a line full of conversational addicts begging for you to talk to them.
Be knocking down your door to hang out with you.
A great book to read if you're interested in actually polishing this up is How to Win Friends and Influence People by Dale Carnegie. It's an old book. However, he relies heavily on support responses.
The book was life-changing.
I'll say I had asked Grady, our late grandfather, very successful guy. I had said, what's one book that I should read? And he was like, I thought I was going to say the Bible. He said, How to Win Friends and Influence People. So I read it. And I was like, wow, that really does. He said it single-handedly built my entire business. That book did.
It's insane. When I read that in the middle of my car sales.
I'm sure it was a pivotal point.
I was the top salesperson that month.
And all you're going to see is that Dale Carnegie says, be genuinely interested, which is key. You can't just sell to people without interest in them, but also get them to talk about themselves. He also even includes saying people's names.
I know.
Right, Corey?
Right, Heather. It's so funny. Like, someone will say their name, and if I'm not conscientiously listening to, I'll miss it. And
something I heard once is when somebody says their name, repeat it back to them. Okay, so just, you're Heather? And if it's a complicated name, you're like, oh, I'm so sorry. Would you mind walking me through how to pronounce that? I want to make sure I get it right. It may seem awkward the first couple of times, but I guarantee that person loves to say their name.
Because I'll be like, I'm Corey. And they're like,
Connie?
C-O-R-Y?
Carrie?
No, oddly, C-O-R-R-I-E.
Yeah. A lot of people only hear our last name, which is fine by me. Something Corey and I'll do. They were like, what's your name? Heather and Corey, but you can call us twin 1, twin 2. My parents do it anyways.
Yeah. We kind of let people save face. It's hard to remember twins.
Absolutely.
We're asking you to remember one boring name. We're sending 2 to you.
And good luck telling us apart when neither of us are showered. So that kind of takes us through that concept. If you are able to implement this into your business, it will be so subtle. But I'll take a name for this one. You will make more sales.
You will.
People will enjoy talking to you more. If you implement this in your personal life, you'll never not have somebody to talk to. Will they ask you questions? That's on you. I haven't been asked a question since 1922. But you'll have people, because we're all addicted to being listened to, but none of us are being listened to.
And I will say, totally just a tangent, with social media being so prevalent in today's day and age, you do have like a group of people listening to you, but no one's truly listening.
No, we're talking about ourselves.
You can pour your heart out and someone just hits you with a like reaction. So you're not truly listened to. So people are starving for it.
Because we get rejection at the speed of the internet.
I mean, just someone not even, if someone skips over your comment, you feel like someone in the group was like, I kind of feel icky. I'll make a post late at night. No one responds to it. And I mean, makes sense. Yeah, you would feel icky, but I mean, hey, I'm sleeping.
I mean, before we got rejection by one person. Now we get rejection by 42,000.
42,000?
42,000 people didn't talk to me.
It is kind of crazy. Like, I'm the admin of the group. When I post something, it doesn't even get anything. I'm like,
here's what I'd say. Analyze. And somebody had asked that. I had written up in the main group tips on how to get your questions answered. Have an interesting picture attached to a short amount of text. Have a call out with an emoji. Again, people have to process so much information these days that when you overwhelm them with a question that's a wall of text, you've already lost them. So again, and then another way to do it, and I hate to say it, the best way to get your question answered is to ask a support question to them. Hey guys, I've had a dry July. What's something you've done? And people love to talk about themselves. They will give you the keys to the kingdom.
They will.
Because you're willing to listen.
Also, start off your post with an angry face emoji.
Oh my goodness. Happy coming and going.
Dry July. What did I do wrong?
The twins lied to me. They said this would be easy. Angry emoji.
Yeah.
But yeah, there's ways to do that. Again, it's all marketing. At the end of the day, most relationships evolve from solid marketing, whether it be interpersonal or communication. The more you have that dialed in. And if you don't, your numbers will let you know.
But you can always learn it. It's not something that you have to be born with.
And you'll go through training wheels of like, wow, I didn't do that right, or I wish I did that better. But it is practicing that makes perfect.
It's so funny. Archer, who's 13 years old, a couple years
He's got
ago,
Archer phone, and he is only allowed to text one person. You'll never guess who that is. It's me. And there, for some reason, he only texts skulls.
He said, I'm only going to text Heather Skulls
aliens. Yeah.
with my stuff.
Yeah, at one
We're on
text.
day 2 of having the phone.
One text was 50 skulls.
It was.
50 skulls. It was the whole screen
Then
of
the
my
phone
phone.
started dying and let it die.
What were you saying?
Arch was asking, he's like, it's really hard for me to make friends at school.
Probably because he's texting them skulls.
And so I was like, well, how are the conversations going at school? Do you play with what they want to play with? No, I actually don't like the games they play. I want them to play with me. Mm-hmm. So it was like, if you want them to play with you, play with them first. Mm-hmm. Get them a little addicted to that. And then guess what? They'll come over and play with you. It's just something that's learned over time.
Well, what happens at the playground is just the adult playground that we take it to.
It is the adult playground.
Yeah, on the way back, Arch, he seems a lot older this round than he does last time. So we had first of it threw me. He sits in the front seat. I don't have kids. I said, are we allowed to?
Body odor.
Corey,
when he got home.
Oh, no, really? He even said, I'm really sweaty. He said, I may have to take off my shirt. And I was like, is there a shirt on underneath? And he was like, no. And I said, well, I don't know protocol here, but the windows are tinted. I said,
you know what? Body odor is so normal. I said, I have.
Why are you bringing in this boy's body odor into this conversation?
I was sitting next to him yesterday.
Oh, because he's in the front?
He had his first zit.
Hey,
we were doing a lot of body
wild
cleaning
ride
yesterday.
This is it.
I know. So we got a haircut. His body odor was off the charts.
We didn't notice the haircut.
Yeah. It's so good looking. It's so much shorter.
I'm sorry, I was distracted by the skulls.
I was like, he had a pimple on his chin and was disgusted by it.
You are a brat for pointing that out to me when we walked in.
What?
You said, look, Heather, look at the pimple on him.
I said, Arch has face wash now. I didn't say, look at the zit on his chin.
Oh, maybe I just saw it.
Yeah, you crazy man.
Life is a hellhole when it comes
I was like,
to...
okay, here's what a T-zone is. Oil in your T-zone.
Get it into the system early. He was like, do I have to do this forever at lunch today? And I was like, yeah, man, it's how you get the girls. And he's like, maybe I don't want the girls. Wait.
That's how you make your mom happy. And that's how I like that.
So anyways, he gets in the passenger front seat. Yeah. I guess he's as tall as I am, so I can.
I know, he grew up.
Yeah. So I was like, the front seat. Because for the past 13 years, he sat in the back seat. Yeah. So he's like, yeah, I'm old enough. And I was like, okay.
Wanted to be cool.
Right. So we're driving back. And of course, I'm listening to, I have nothing but the road in front of me and my ears. So I'm listening to music that I like. And he's like, what if we listen to something? Can I find you a song? And I'm like, okay, Heather, you have 2 options. You can make this person feel like they hung the moon by letting him play. Of course, he plays something metal screaming, but it was overlaid over Disney. So I had half of what I wanted. It was like Mermaid, but we were yelling. And I could see that he plays it and he looks at me bombastic side-eye through the corner of his eye to see if I was interested. And of course, I was like, this is the best thing I've ever heard in my entire life. Would you mind adding it to my workout playlist? And he's like, I just thought you'd really like it.
And that's why he's sending you skulls.
Yep.
Man.
Anything to be the favorite aunt.
You are cool.
When I saw him, I said, it's my favorite nephew. He said, I'm your only nephew. And I said, I'm the favorite. So that just shows you when people feel seen, heard,
and understood,
they will be addicted to you and the product that you're selling.
Yeah. Was that a good podcast?
I don't know. I liked it. I think people need to know about it.
I think people need to know
I think it's a little obscure and cognitive.
I think this was a great intro to it.
Yes.
Maybe we'll delve in more and maybe
us discovering that we were office managers which is great.
We'll pretend to be office managers a little bit better.
But if you can start looking to that, it is one of the biggest tools I've seen in communicating sales. And it's one that I think a lot of people sleep on because we so badly want to be heard, seen, and understood or something.
Yeah. If car salespeople, the moment you can start listening.
You've sold the Buick Rendezvous.
Rendezvous will be yours. All right. We're adding a new seggy.
We are. Did I get told
Vendy
about
Bundy seggy.
Guys,
Vendy
who would have thought?
Who would have thought?
Who would have thought that the podcast last week would have gotten us to the Vendy Blendy is all systems go.
How
we
many
have the
people do
20.
we have?
I have 20 signed up. I know I have 5 pending Vendies.
5 pending?
They're thinking they just got to fill out my abnormally long form.
Well, just to do this Vendy Blendy, we needed at least 20. The sky's the limit as far as we can
the
go.
Vendy Blendy 20.
It doesn't. I'm not gonna.
I'm liking it. They're also saying it's trendy to Vendy Blendy, so we're keeping
it's trendy to Vendy Blendy. 20 has a T in there.
Wait, listen.
Storm me off.
I literally Googled last night words ending in endy, and we used them all. So what are we gonna do? Do you want to? How are we gonna? We got some solid players.
Tell me what you're thinking right now.
I don't know. We want to promote the Vendies throughout these now, really 3 months.
Okay, so in our Vendy Blendy Segi, which that doesn't sound good either.
Hey, just force it. If it doesn't fit, force it. Go ahead.
Let's cover everyone we have for vendors.
I'm sorry, we got another Vendy. We have 21 Vendies.
So, let's go over their names.
Okay.
And then we'll do one final podcasty and go over their discounts.
So here's what I'll do. I'm only going to name all the Vendies on the podcast. In the group, I'm going to drip them out. So if you want to know all the Vendies, you got to be listening.
Love that.
And then, but otherwise, I'm going to definitely post them in the group.
Love that. So each week we'll cover who is
the entire list.
Okay. And then maybe we'll do one podcast of just what vendors to expect, their discounts, and their best
I'm going
sales.
to pummel these people with Vendy Blendy Segi.
Is that good?
We're going to just keep it
early.
I don't know.
Marketing.
Someone said to me, I was like, "Oh, the Vendy Blendies are going." They're like, "It's as if marketing does work." So let's start off the OG. This person has been through all 3 Vendies. They wrote a great write-up. I mean, they'll be their 3rd Vendy. We've only done 2. They said this is their biggest sales day of every year they've ever participated. Courtney Carey.
Courtney Carey with Bakery Tico.
The funniest shirts. I have a shirt from her. I can't wear it because I think Gans will be offended, but it's Big Stick Energy and it has a big butter.
Yes.
She just dropped her Boo Baker line.
She did.
Hilarious. But she signed up first. Thank you so much, Courtney.
Thank you, Courtney.
For taking a chance on us yet again.
You're stuck with us, girl.
Then we have Rona's Cookies and More. I know she sells that.
Jenna Ray's Gold.
Jenna Ray's Gold, which Corey loves.
If you ever heard, Jenna Ray's is actually Canadian based. It does take a little bit long to get to us U.S. folk, but now she does wholesale.
Oh, great.
And you can do it through Rona.
Oh, that'll be great. This is Rona's first year. However, Rona's been in the Cookie College since like the dawn of time.
She has.
She actually runs our engagement pods. Thank you, Rona. She does. We have Amanda Lasser. She was in last year's Vendy Blendy and had such a great experience. She's back again, signed up 3rd with Brighton Cutters.
Oh, everyone loves Brighton Cutters. You have the Not So Basic box. She has some. I love her cutters.
You wanted cutters, and cutters do we have. So we have more cutters. We have Wonderland Cutters, a return from last year's wheel. She had recently launched her shop last year, jumped into the Vendy Blendy, and she is back again.
Year 2.
We have Sweet Pink Olive, who actually supplies the cookie cutters for our Cookie Class Kits membership. She is back again awesomely. I think she's been in every Vendy as well.
She has. She does sell an airbrush. So if airbrush is on your mind, that's a shop you can get it from.
We have One Smart Cookies and Crafts, which I know you featured a product of hers recently.
She actually sent us some Halloween cutters and a Halloween scribe, and we were able to feature that. And then from that, she said, "Oh yeah, I signed up for your Venn blend." She's like, "I hope I'm accepted." And I said, "Let me tell you, I know some people, and everyone's accepted."
The answer is yes. Let me check with my identical twin sister. We have Sweet Cutter Co.
Oh no way!
Yeah, do you know who they are?
You know, we follow her on Instagram.
Sweet. So I love them. Then we have Renee with Blue Honey Cutter Co.
She's new, right?
Yes. Going to really enjoy that one.
She's actually doing her marketing because I've seen that name.
She is. We have Dare to Bake. Now, I'm telling you, I don't know what their submitted information is. I'm just reading this.
Dare to Bake.
Okay.
She sent us boxes we highlighted. She has different advent calendars. She had a unicorn theme advent calendar. Macaron boxes.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah. She had a bunch of stuff.
So is it packaging?
That's what she said. That's what I know her
we
for. We
needed more packaging participants. Then we got a return Vendy. This was her last year. Was her first. She is back again. Bobby with an I with Bobby's Cutters.
Bobby's Purple Cutters.
Known by their purple coloring. We actually led with this company trying to tell people to sign up last week. And Sam and Meredith were like, how did we miss the launch? I said, you didn't miss it. You were it. So Sugar Dash Co. is back again. Their 3rd year. I got to say, those two know how to market. They know how to vend blend.
That shop is so filled of cutters.
Cute stuff.
Adorable stuff.
But also, I got to say, and if you're a Vendy Blendy, talk to them if you're wondering how to squeeze the most juice from the Vendy Blendy berry, because they did everything by the book and then some, and that is why they keep returning. Her and Sam are like, whatever we need to do. Left kidneys, we'll donate those. Vendy Blendy. Then we have returning, I think last year was her first. Nicole from Busy Baker's Supply.
Yes.
What is a product that she sells that I know you love?
She actually sent it, and you'll see it in the video this week.
She's smart.
It's these metallic markers that just hit the airwaves.
And she has a lot of baking supplies.
She does have a lot of
I know
supplies.
she moved some product last year, and a lot of people, and then she did pretty good in just like hawking wares.
Mm-hmm.
We have returning, is this her third one? Dottie.
Is it
From Sugar Dot Cookies. Sugar Dot used to live around us.
She
then
was
as soon as we got to meet her, she was like, I'm out. I don't like you guys. And she moved to, was it Tennessee?
I'm going to say Tennessee.
She's the only 10 I see. But she is back. I know Corey talks about
she
her
has a ton
markers.
of transfers.
Markers. Edible markers.
Yes, edible markers.
We
she has
buy
these
them.
Cute little bags.
We buy her edible markers for her cookie classes.
Yeah. She has these cute little bags. These thank you bags.
Yes.
Yeah, I love them.
Mulberry Treats is back. I almost think she's done it every year. I know she did it last year.
I think she has.
Mulberry Treats, if you know the Barbie memes of the baking Barbie that was like all that
she's the Barbie calendar.
The Barbie calendar. And she's back. I was excited this year. Wasn't sure if she was returning, and she signed up. Then we have Acorn Backers. She even said, "Why did you launch this and not email me first?" And I said, "I'm so sorry. I didn't think anybody was going to sign up."
This is her third year. She's been with this every time.
She runs a great sale. She goes. I'm not sure. Do you want me to tell you which discount she's running?
If you can.
I don't see why I can't. I'm the boss. She is running a discount of 30%.
Nice.
30%.
So this is the only time I've ever seen them run 30% is during this day.
She's smart. She makes it this day. Smart. I will say she typically sells out at midnight of the top 3. So her top 3 that she's written here, I've gotten all this information. That's why the form is so long, because I do not want to keep asking. Her top seller is Polar White. That one I think she sells out of.
She do.
Okay. And the next one, this is an interesting one, the Boho Champagne.
It just came out.
And then we have the Beechwood.
Yeah, I think that one just came out.
I know. So those are the ones she's featuring. We have Allison Allen at the Baker Tree. I know she did a Vendy Blending.
She did.
Did she do last year or the one before?
That name I cannot remember.
Absolutely. And we have these two signed up today. The first one, this will be their first ever Vendy Blending. And the second one, I almost think it might be her third. The first ever Vendy Blending, Miss Cookie Packaging.
Yes, guys, and she's got bag toppers, bag ties, bows.
I know you feature a lot of her stuff.
I do like the stuff. I love selling it.
So her top 3, I love that I asked for the top 3.
I do.
Her best, never telling what their top 3s are. And then last but not least is Bambi Bentley with Lolly Bee Custom
Good,
Cutters.
I saw her on Instagram. I was like, I hope she comes back.
Because we can't put pressure, but I want to put pressure.
I know.
And then obviously Corey and I are Vendy as well. Can't sign up to pay myself for
what
it.
What are we doing on ours?
I haven't decided yet.
Oh.
A cookie college?
Yeah, but what is the deal?
We did 3 months free when you sign up there instead of the 2.
That.
Okay.
2 months free. Just kidding.
That's already you can't argue that right now. So that means since we have 21 vendors, which is one over the minimum requirement, the Vendy Blendy is a go. You can actually request to join the Vendy Blendy group.
We have to pressure other vendors.
Trendy to Vendy Blendy. I want you guys to send them. But I have people pending, some Vendys that are thinking about it. I'm saying apply pressure. Now, what I think I'm going to do.
Yeah.
Bully people. Thoughts?
Okay, here's what I wanted you to do. Bully, yes. What I want you to do is do a post on Instagram and Facebook.
Okay.
Tag who you want to be in the Vendy Blendy.
Okay.
And we will have everyone tag the shops.
I like it.
I will say we'll probably have to explain what the Vendy Blendy is because those words don't make sense.
Right. Hey, it looks vending. That is
Someone's
blending.
like, what's a Vendy Blendy? I had to type out a
Courtney Carey's like, I was here when you guys used to call it vendor blender. That's how old I am. So that means since we have the 20 minimum Vendys, more Vendys can sign up, but it was a 20 needed to go.
Yes.
That means we are definitely giving away 2 Bamboo X1 carbon printers, each valued at $1,500. That printer is the best thing I've ever bought. It sits in front of me. I kiss it in the morning. I kiss it goodnight. Baby, an easy one. Lob it over like a volleyball.
Is the bamboo printers only for people who are in the United States, or is it? Oh,
no, it ships everywhere. I think it's a company based out of China. So they have an international sales. And if, I don't know what the conversion rate is, we'll figure it out.
All right. So everyone can win.
Absolutely. You Australians, I know you Australians. Australians are like, I sit on the Pine Pony every Vendy Blendy. I'm trying to get you some STL shops. I'm trying to get you people who ship internationally, but you can also win.
The Australian shops. Get them to sign up, and guess what?
Yeah, I don't care if they only ship to Australia.
Absolutely.
And then the Americans can just buy their
STLs.
We'll
ride the Pine Pony.
Absolutely. And I'll make it clear, when people sign up where they ship to and stuff like that.
Yes.
So that is the Vendy Blendy segment. If you guys want to add more vendor blenders, you can send a link to the Vendies you'd like to see, which has actually gotten a lot of more people to sign up. The pressure has worked.
Bullying has been great.
We are now officially bullying. But it's sugarcookiemarketing.com/Vendy. That'll be all the information the vendor needs to sign up. Now, if you say, well, I'm not a vendor, but I do want to shop and I'm a spender, you can go to Facebook and request to join the group called Vendy Blendy 2023. It's facebook.com/groups/Vendy.
Someone was asking, how do vendors sign up? So let me actually respond to them. What's that link called? Hold on. www.sugarcookiemarketing.com/what?
Vendy.
VENDY.
Absolutely.
No EY? EY or Y?
No, Y.
Just
my
Y?
made up word only has a Y at the end.
Okay. Yeah.
The Venday Blende.
Venday Blende. That's
the rendezvous. So if you guys want to shop, you're going to request to join that group. You will not get in. In fact, I've already hired the VA. He's down. He said I'm absolutely down to let people in and kick them out 24 hours later. And you can listen to more about the Vendy Blendy in last week's podcast. But we'll be introducing it more and more as we get closer to Black Friday.
We will.
Which I cannot believe. That's already like things we can talk about.
I don't know, man.
It was kind of cooler today.
It was nice.
Not cold.
Nice.
But I wasn't swimming.
I haven't spent a second outside today. Except for to get in the car.
Oh, fair.
I need to spend more time outside enjoying the weather. Fresh air.
Use your sunscreen.
Always. You don't.
I am doing it. I do not want to be the old looking twin. And that's my daughter over there. So moving on, tell us about the Cookie College and what we're working on, what we'll drop at the end of this week before we leave.
The Cookie College is a membership. If you're looking to grow your bakery business, even if you're just starting out or you've been in the game for a while, what's great and horrendous about marketing is it's always changing. It's always morphing. So what we decided to do was create a membership where we're always adding to it. We have over 90 some odd courses in there. And what we do is take your hand, hold it, hand in hand. Heather holds your hand with her little squeaky voice.
I'd like to interrupt my fingers as well.
Yeah, so it's all finger wrapping.
I want to make sure that we have the best handy grip.
No one's tearing you apart. And she takes you step by step through things that will grow your bakery business. Whether it be organizational things, a lot of times we spend so much time lost in the sauce.
Remember what I said? If you had to look for, the example was your checkbook for like 20 seconds every day, it ended up at the end of the year like 50 years of your life.
I don't even write checks anymore. But what this is geared to do is it's done with you marketing. So instead of you having to pay a company thousands of dollars to do it for you, we're doing it with you, but we make it simple. I'm a visual person. I need someone to show me the ropes. I don't want to just read a blog post and be like, all right, maybe. So you can actually get access to a private group. So if you see something, you're like, that didn't make so much sense to me. I wonder if someone can break it down for me like I'm a 5-year-old. You can go to the private Facebook group. You can ask the question, tag Heather. She never sleeps. For some reason, she's always awake.
I've been sleeping terribly lately, so I'm always awake. Just ask your question. Gives me something to do instead of
she's
stare
right
at the ceiling.
Tag her. But that is the membership we're doing. Within that membership, the Cookie College gets everything. So anything we've ever offered, the Cookie College gets. But this week, we are launching early, which is never something that we do, the Halloween Cookie Class.
The rest of my week is spoken for. I'll be working on this.
Yes.
The Halloween class is super cute. And I'm going to say super easy.
It is very easy. Super cute.
Because you could do that as a DIY kit and not teach the class at all. You could sell DIY kits with the PowerPoint included in Cookie Class kits. Yeah. And people would love it. And all you have to do is like cut the stuff. Right.
The reason why we're so excited about this one is because from October to December.
Somebody said in the college, like every Monday we do like a goals check-in, because I'm that type of person. Mm-hmm. And I count down how many weeks are left in the year because I like to have people have a little bit of stress. Yeah. And somebody's like, I am teaching 7 Christmas classes and they're sold out.
That's insane.
Corey and I are sold out.
It's the time that's why we're excited about these classes.
I love it when people jump into classes around this time because you're going to love it. You're going to hate it in January. Nobody signs up anymore.
Yes, absolutely.
But
it's the season.
License to print money. Yeah. And Corey and I are working on a standalone Christmas class. We got the cutters. We're arguing about the cutters.
We are. Every class involves a little arguing. And then it comes to fruition. But I actually got everything done for the Halloween class early.
I was impressed. She really did.
Thank you.
She really did. And it looks fun. Okay, moving on. I want to talk about, we'll actually be at CookieCon. Heather Campbell, Berkshire. we are going to meet her. She is the sponsor of the happy hour. That'll be at 5:30 Eastern Standard Time on Tuesday. And it'll be at the High Waters Lounge, which I almost promised is where we had it in 2021. We're back again. Come hang out, leisurely, laid back.
Crazy.
Do not be pressed. It is just
chill.
I mean, you will have to present your beads at the door. Just kidding.
First round is on us, even if it's water Diet Coke, preferably. Just kidding. You can go whatever you want. But come in, just say hi to us. We'll lob stuff over to you in the conversation.
Tell us. Do be like, that is a shift response and you're a loser. So, yeah, real laid back. Just kind of find a buddy.
I think I'm going to order an appetizer this time, little apps.
Really?
I don't know. I like to munch.
Who doesn't like to munch? You find you a good guac. Park
but
in.
see, it's across the way from the chips and salsa place.
I know.
Maybe I'll get that to go and walk ridiculous. It over.
It is literally a hop, skip, and a jump, literally.
I could throw a chip and hit it.
Yeah, so if you're wondering where this is located, it's actually located in the convention center. If you've not been to Cookie Con before, it is one of the prettiest hotels I've ever stayed at.
It's gorgeous.
Also, I've only ever stayed at Motel 6. But no, this is a really stunning hotel. It's very pretty and a bunch of restaurants. You almost could exist solely in the hotel and never have to leave.
Yeah, and guess what?
But if you wanted to leave and go to Disney, Heather Campbell Brookshire can plan that for you.
She can. She is a Disney adult. She's a Disney planner. If you're just thinking like, if someone just surprised you with a Cookie Con ticket, you're going for the first time, also go to Disney.
Yeah, why not? I saw this on her personal page. I'm not sure if I'm allowed to say, but they're bringing her dad.
To this one?
I don't know to this one, but they like had this, like everyone was in Disney ears and they all got together and like presented him a ticket. Like dad is a Disney adult.
If you are at Cookie Con and you're planning on coming to this happy hour and you see a lonely cookie person who maybe has never heard of SCM, bless her soul.
They're saved from
Bring them with you. You do not have to be a part of SCM. It's not this exclusive thing.
The only requirement's good vibes. So, like, why not?
Good vibes.
Spread it to the good vibes.
Yeah, so
around.
if you see someone just straggling the little flag.
You know, it is hard. It would be extremely. Here's the thing. You and I have always had each other.
I know.
Food at the bun hip.
No,
bun to bun, cheek to cheek. But when you go to an entire convention by yourself, it is so difficult. So I would say if you found somebody and they're like, I just wanted to experience this, but I don't know anybody, just bring them. Let them find a buddy. You be their buddy. Hey, drink enough, you'll be buddies. But just stop by. It's on Tuesday. It's really, really laid back. There's no dress code.
Yeah, so don't feel like you have to be a part of the group or anything. I mean, we'd love you to be a part of FCM just to learn and grow, but if you hate us, come and drink with us.
The best way to get back us is drink our money. That would be great. I would do that all the time.
But I'm excited. I can't believe it's here.
It has felt like 5 months away until it was suddenly 5 days away.
I know. I got to pack. I got to try on some clothes and see what fits.
Stretchy, ride or dies.
I know. Am I going to look like kind of like what my hair looks like now on the trip down? Or are you going to try to do your hair?
See, I don't want to do my hair, but I also don't want to be in Summer's videos without my hair did.
Here's that also
Let's do a blow dry ponytail.
If I blow dry, I'm not ponytailing it.
Okay, yeah, I will, but you don't have to.
I think 8 hours with my hair not up in a bun. My hair is always in a bun.
I know. Put it in a bun.
I put it in a bun. I'll have to plan. Yeah, I think it needs a little bit of a break.
I don't know. I just know the sisters are going to turn this into their little Instagram.
Which, we're going to let it.
Good vibes.
Good vibes.
Good vibes. Happy hearts right here.
Good vibes.
Corey and I agreed that we would not argue in those days that will be done.
We are not. Heather's not dating the guy I hate, so we're going to go.
We got doctors on. Okay, do you have a twin twist? I know you do.
Do I?
The thing in the car that made me snort.
Guys, if you've been on TikTok for 2 seconds, everyone's selling everything.
Can I show you my twin twist?
Sure.
Can you get the box right there?
Is it a gift for me?
I don't know.
I don't know. Is it my birthday?
No. No, that one hasn't come in yet.
Are you serious?
After the podcast last week, Heather Campbell Brookshire.
Are you?
She said, "Hey, I searched the internet high and low for the Disney Aldo high heels."
Oh my! This is 9.
Yeah, I got 8.5 and 9. Buddy, I got one too. I told her. She said I searched everywhere. What? Nordstrom is the only one who had any left.
So she got it. So it's from Nordy.
It's from Nordstrom. That's the only place that had the Aldo agreements. Corey, she dropped her pack on like Corey. Is it flashing or solid?
Yeah, I know it's solid.
Okay.
Oh my God. Whoa. That's so crazy.
So now we'll be wearing the Disney Aldo shoes.
Oh, I'm so excited about that. Did I mess something up?
I did. Okay.
They're so cute. Guys, if you don't, obviously you're not looking
Come
at them.
to the happy hour. These are the most uncomfortable shoes in the history of the planet.
These were
I don't know. I haven't tried them on. They just came while I was sitting here.
They're Disney branded shoes.
In partnership with Aldo.
With Aldo. So on one is Minnie.
And on the other is Mickey. Thank you, Heather Campbell Berkshire, for doing the footwork. How fun.
I cannot wait. That's just a cream of the crop. When I even drove up there.
Can you talk closer to the mic?
There's a box. What did you order? And Heather just left me on.
I said there's a small chance it's something interesting, but a large chance it's something boring.
Oh, nice. I'm so excited.
Okay, now what's your Twinterest?
TikTok has released this thing called TikTok Shop.
Yeah, what a nightmare, man.
TikTok Shop is a nightmare, and it's turned everyone into a salesperson.
I know.
So now you as a creator can actually buy something from someone's shop, post about it on your own profile, link that product in your description, and they can buy from that shop, but you get a little bit of a commission. So now everyone's a salesperson.
Right, what did you get?
It's from Land of Oz, AAHS.
Okay.
Land of Oz, but it's bakery smelling oils.
It is. I said, why does it feel like I got punched by a marshmallow?
This one's called Bakery Air. It smells so insanely good. They had chocolate chip.
It's
warm
such a
vanilla.
tiny vial, but you said it is just the scentedest thing.
It is. Oh, I'm addicted to it. I've been just like burying myself in there. And you're like, are you wearing it for other? No, I'm wearing it for myself. I love to like stretch and then catch a little whiff of it.
It is. I want to let you know a little goes a long way. Can you buy me one? Maybe more of like a relaxing scent. Thoughts?
She only
bread. Do they have bread?
Did they have bread?
I would love the smell of bread.
I thought Bakery Air was going to be bready.
No, it's very
sweeter.
sweet.
They had buttercream, warm vanilla, salted caramel.
Interesting. So it's really the sweet and savory, the rich.
Yeah, but she actually sold out a bunch of them and then came with some like flannel. But what does flannel smell like?
I don't know. Whatever
it's just risky
Yankee
business.
Candle thinks it's
like. If cupcake, I can go in there, but warm flannel.
I forgot to do sponsors because I got too hype and then I didn't do text questions.
Oh my soul.
But look at the shoes.
Look at the shoes. I would put them on now, but my feet are really sweaty, so I'll have to wait.
Yeah, you got to have them cool. So here is some text questions, and then we'll go to the sponsors.
Sure.
Is everything still working? You really did throw them off the ledge.
I don't know.
If your ears, please go to Miracle Ear if your ear hurts. And William the Miracle. Hello, twins. I'm so thankful for the pod and hoping to join the Cookie College in the new year. Can't wait. I have a question about hashtags on Instagram. Last week, I accidentally forgot to copy and paste my hashtags before posting. I edited all the posts to add them, but I'm wondering if that affects reach at all. Also, I've seen some people add them to a comment on their post as opposed to the actual body of the post. Do you know if this affects their reach too? What if the comment is made a week later? Is it the same reach as if they'd put the hashtag in the body of the day they made the post? I appreciate all your help, and I hope you have a blast taking the week off the pod.
That's a fantastic question, and there's been a lot of...
Can I say it's also a moving target?
It is. There's a lot of studies done on it. Typically, what they want you to do is as soon as you post the photo or the video is to have your hashtags included at that time. So what it does, the algorithm serves your photo. What it does there is how it determines... Close can I get?
I don't know. It just doesn't seem so
it's so close. I'm eating it.
Getting closer, but like I'm touching the mesh. My teeth are chipping on the microphone.
Back to your great question. Typically, the algorithm serves your photo to people right when it's posted. That reactions that you get on that post are what decides if it gets served to even more people. It doesn't matter. We've tested it. If you put the hashtags in the caption or in the comments, that is totally up to you. It doesn't favor one way or the other. But they would suggest to always have those captions when you make the original post. You can definitely add it later. It probably won't hit the feeds like it would if you would have posted it all together at the first.
I'll say that Instagram doesn't have a slow burn. It is like post and gone.
Yeah.
Like I post some absolutely stunning memes. But in the first 24 hours is where I get that reach. Anything after that, I don't care if the hashtag was the best one ever. I would say have all your ducks in a row. If you miss a hashtag, it's not the end of the world. You can also post the post again in a couple weeks. But well, you open that and it blasted me.
Yeah, right?
With burnt caramel marshmallow.
Bakery air.
Yeah, wow, that thing is packing a punch. That thing is fully loaded. So, yeah, with the Instagram, a lot of it comes with kind of testing. I know that the Instagram CEO said on TikTok that they're depreciating the valuation of hashtags, allegedly. I'm going to say I doubt it. I know that Reels are where it's at right now currently, but at the end of the day, these are discovery search engines, and it relies on a lot of indicators to kind of tell the audience what you want. But you got to get the views kind of off the bat. Mm-hmm. TikTok, I mean, do things go viral after you post them? Rarely.
I think you could trickle in a couple hundred views, but it's typically.
Yeah. Have all your ducks in a row. You can always test. And I'm always going to recommend that. But that is what it is. True. Another one, great question. Hi, twins. Yes, I would watch you guys on YouTube. You would have seen. They would have to see you throw your mic off the table.
Heather and I were posed this question: can we get you to video yourselves whilst doing the podcast? And we said, I don't think anyone would watch that. And a bunch of people said we would watch that.
Why do you guys want to see?
Do you?
Why do you want to see what we look like? It's not very good.
Obviously, I just threw the microphone across the room.
It's not very attractive.
Do you want to see my shoes?
Do you want to just watch us laughing at our own jokes?
Do you want to see me clutch?
Are you just saying I want to put a face to a name?
Are you wanting to see whose voice is whose?
Mine's the annoying one.
So ask it.
Great. Well, they've all answered. We must have asked it because they're all saying we want to see it.
Did we ask it last week?
Yeah. Tracy, hold on. Tracy from Sugar Bee says, absolutely yes, all caps. I would watch you girls on YouTube doing the podcast. So they already answered it. But there was to the other one. Here's the rest of the question. Okay. I'm intrigued about the Vendy Blendy and would sell my baking banners for home decor. Should I apply? Not sure if this phone number accepts photos, which it doesn't. You can't text a photo thing, but I could send you photos if you thought I'd be a good fit. Thanks. Hannah, yes, the Vendy Blendy doesn't discriminate. As long as it's baking related, absolutely. I, as the Vendy host, want to make sure you get the value from the Vendy Blendy. Mm-hmm. So the investment is $150. At the end of the day, you'll never get that type of marketing for $150 anywhere else. So absolutely would recommend it. I would like you to sell your product as well.
Ask yourself, who is your target audience?
If it's bakers, I would wager that we're 100% of that target audience.
Fish in a barrel. I don't know what these signs look like though.
Right. She said I have to text them to you. But baking decor.
Yeah. Send them to us on Instagram because I can get.
Oh, yeah. Hannah, if you want to send them to Corey because she's the baking twin, you can do it at Sugar Cookie Marketing _ on Instagram and just shoot them over to her and say, I'm Hannah from the podcast.
Yeah.
Great. But thank you so much for asking. Again, 20 minimum was required. There is not a maximum. There is supposed to be a 35-person maximum, but everyone always says, open the floodgates. Let the people buy.
Don't buy.
Speaking of buying, go to the sponsors.
Okay, sponsor number 1, AE Core Backers. We did talk about them. They will be part of the Vendy Blendy. They offer our group an exclusive discount of 20% off. If you want to be guaranteed to get the Polar White, you can buy it now for 20% off. They will be doing 30% off for the Vendy Blendy, but if you want to guarantee that you get it and you can use it and you can make a lot of sales with it, 'tis the season to buy. You can use the code SugarCookie at checkout. It's aecorebackers.com. I also try to post a photography tip each Sunday, so at least once a week, that uses the backers so you can kind of say, like, visually see. Like, so this week I did it. Hey, as a great prop, are you putting your face closer? As a great prop.
I was thinking like you were like, hey, like we started a new conversation.
Yeah, because you were on your phone.
You didn't throw it across the room.
I used tea towels, and I went to show you how you can lay your tea towels. Okay, take us to the next one.
AE Core Backers, what's the code?
Sugar Cookie. I already said it. Next up is Royal Batch. She is sold out.
I'm reaching out to her.
We are reaching out to her. We need this stuff back.
You can't make us addicted to something Courtney posts and then take it from us.
I know. So we are going to pressure her, bully her in her email, and see when the stuff is coming back. She sells it in 1 pound and 5 pounds. You can get 10% off. You can get 10% off using the code TWINS at checkout.
Pull it back from your mouth.
When she's back in stock.
And then last but never least, Eddie.
What? Have you been so close?
I want to let you know, you got a bobbleneck for a head. You got a bobbleneck for a head. You're either really close or really far. You're constantly shifting where you're sitting.
Eddie.
I'm playing DJ with the audio levels.
Okay, go on.
Eddie, the edible food printer. I was thinking about this today.
What?
I was emailing Jennifer, and I was thinking that their brand, like the name of it, is what's confusing because there's edible printers.
There's edible printers that print on things like wafer paper.
Right. Here's what I'm thinking. Eddie should position themselves direct to food printers. Now, in printing T-shirts, there's direct to garment, meaning that they're printing directly on the garment versus the silk screening where they're like painting or whatever. Direct to food printer.
That's literally what they're called.
Oh, really?
Yes. It's called the direct to food printer.
Can you lose your attitude?
The direct to food printer.
Can you drop the
direct to food
like you
printer.
dropped the microphone. So check out Eddie and the Eddie Printer Users Group. Now it has the word official at the end. I looked it up today.
Yeah, because they do have some spin-off groups, but the official users group is where it's run by Primera, and that's who owns Eddie, and they're there to help you.
Whatever question you have, it's been asked 50 times.
But
It's
you
been
can
answered
ask it
50
again.
times. Yeah,
Because
absolutely.
they love
You'll
questions.
find the answer. People are doing crazy things. You know the lady that has the sassy trays?
Yes.
She came out with a new tray.
What is it called?
I think it was for macaron tops.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, so she launched it yesterday because they have vendor Mondays.
Yeah, so if you're wondering what Eddie can print on, macaron tops.
They have directed food printer. Is that what's called?
It's
DTF?
called there. Yeah. DTF. Throwing it back to Jersey Shore. M&M's, Mentos, chips, cheese, royal icing, rolled buttercream.
Would you do any of those? No. But can you do those? Yes.
I would definitely print on royal icing.
If I went to a Mexican restaurant, Tex-Mex restaurant, and they had printed their logo on the
a
chip,
piece of chip?
I'd be sold.
I'd be like, oh my goodness, take a picture of that.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
A chip.
Yeah.
A branded chip.
But you can learn more about Eddie. He is 3,000 smackarone skirts. But you can get Eddie to pay for himself. A lot of people ask that question. I'm always proud when I see it. How long did it take you to pay for Eddie? Like, get the money back from him. And a lot of people say it's relative based off of how much time you spend marketing him. So back to our little absolutely terrible admin skit.
Yeah.
That is how you would kind of present Eddie. And when a business owner, let me tell you this, the Beaners, when a business owner sees their logo, their name printed on a pen, a pad, a cookie, they lose it. They can see nothing but placing an order for 50,000 more.
Amen.
And then I wager business owners, go on.
Printer. I just bought a printing cartridge from them.
You loaded up?
It hasn't come in yet.
I hear.
But I can't wait to try to figure out how
Punch
to
your reds. What are you using? What are you using, Eddie, for the most recent thing?
So I like to do it as instead of trying to do stencils and airbrushing because I'm really bad at it. I love just getting.
What was the last thing you used them on?
Lemons. Like a lemon set. So she wanted onesies with lemons on it.
I saw you. Good luck with my kid cookie. What did you use to do the background?
Oh yeah, we did the Eddie notebook.
Oh, you did Eddie?
Yeah.
On that? Great.
Yeah. So
Corey did a square, which is a very simple shape.
very simple.
Printed. We had made a graphic in Illustrator of notepaper.
Yeah.
It was basically straight lines in blue and light red.
It's so much easier than trying to do a straight line.
I know. Yeah, because it's a printer. So she printed that, and then in really cool hand script.
I piped.
She piped on top of it. And that's what I think Eddie really, and people are like, Eddie removes the R out of it. No, he adds to the workflow.
Yeah.
So we have the flat printed paper, and then she hand piped the text. And talk about piece de resistance.
Marriage made in heaven.
In workflow heaven. Because at the end of the day, this is a business podcast. We're trying to maximize profits and minimize workload. And that is Edifer's, where he comes and sticks the landing 10 out of 10 Olympian.
10 out of 10. Tell the people, I didn't go to the mailbag today. Can
I tell you the funniest story?
Yeah, go ahead and tell the story.
So Tammy Gunnels is just a ride or die of the podcast. I think we were like, there's a podcast, and she downloaded it day one. And she's also in the Cookie College. So she had made this post over there, and she said, I made the biggest mistake. I was going to send the twins.
Sorry.
Clutch.
I was flipping.
Clutch.
With my shoe.
Can you not just keep things on the table?
I'm so sorry.
So Tammy says, I was going to send them a box of Dunkaroos because Corey and I had talked about how much we love Dunkaroos. But she's like, I was also at the post office, and my aunt had won a giveaway I hosted on my page. And she said, I put the wrong labels on each box. So the aunt got the Dunkaroos. And the text that this aunt sent Tammy, I was like, thank you so much for the Dunkaroos. This was the best thing I've ever gotten. I was eating a sandwich and they went like, protect this aunt at all costs.
Also, I don't think any of us lost.
The package just got there while we were sitting here.
Good to know.
And so we get these like designer cookies from Tammy. They're like farmhouses.
Sorry, Tammy. I said, Tammy, these cookies are not going to make your aunt, but they are going to make it to me.
The aunt was supposed to get the barn house and she got Dunkaroos. But you would have thought that the aunt had received the most precious cookie Dunkaroo in her life. And she had the best spirit.
Dunkaroos are good. Dunks are good.
My theory is wait until the last circle cookie and then do the biggest dunk.
I like to do just a little hint of the icing on each one till I get to the final two. The final two, then you squish them together so they're thicker, they don't break.
Cookie?
Then really, no, it's just reinforcement. Then you can scoop out the whole thing and give yourself
It's not a bad strategy.
It's not a bad strategy.
Let's see if it pays off. That is the podcast. It was there. Was it a good one?
Was it?
I'm going to give it 7 out of 10.
7 out of 10?
What were you going to do?
I'm going to definitely give it a 6.5.
A 6.5.
I dropped this.
That was ridiculous.
I don't even know what they're experiencing on their end.
Ridiculous. I could only assume they thought they were in a car accident.
We got our little segments messed up.
We did, but I got excited about the shoes. I'm not a gift secret
You're not
keeper.
a secret keeper at all.
No, call me the leaky faucet.
The admin skits were horrendous.
That was a rough one. That was rough. And you guys deserve better. But
we will not be back next week, but we'll be back the following week with A+ material.
A solid 9 out of 10 at least. Okay, guys. See you down at CookieCon. Bye. CookieCon. Bye.